Deja vu all over again. We're right back where we started. They did it again.
And here we go.
At this point, I'm convinced these showrunners and writers are their own worst enemies. Like, how do you fumble the ball in the 1-yard line? All you have to do is run a simple quarterback sneak right up the middle. But no, you decide to run a trick play. And this is the result, Dexter New Blood. Especially the last episode, episode 10. Because to be honest, it's not all bad. You see the title or the thumbnail. It says bloody good, which it is, but kinda. So I'll break it down like this. I start off with the good, then I get to the bad and my overall feelings of it. It's not going to be a long review because I'm heartbroken once again. Alright, so on to the good. It's pretty simple. The first 9 episodes were great, amazing. And what I really loved about this show is the fact, as terrible season 8 was, and especially that last episode, they didn't try to erase it. They kept it canon and they just built on top of it and made it make a little more sense. And that takes some real cojones, because you could have easily just redo it and pretend like season 8 didn't happen. But no, they stuck to their guns, and you meet Dexter in this small town away from Miami. And he's a complete different character. This season, to be honest, is a character study of Dexter Morgan, instead of him being, this deranged serial killer with half-baked moral, way of going about it. This time it's just him as a father, as a boyfriend, and just as Dexter himself. And I really, really loved that aspect of the show. To the point, I don't believe we got our first kill from Dexter until, episode 3 or 4? I could be mistaken, but it was a while. The first few episodes, we were just learning where he's been this past decade or so, and I really, really, really dug it. And when you get introduced with Harrison, his son, that he left behind, and that duality of him trying to keep his dark passenger, hidden, and also trying to be a father that doesn't, lead his son into the same, because, him and his son were both pretty much raised or born the same way. And, he's struggling or trying to keep his son away from the path that he has taken. And it leads to some amazing storytelling and amazing concepts that, for the most part, were handled great. And another thing I loved about this show is seeing Michael C. Hall back. Besides Dexter, he's not really known like that. He's not in big time movies, but I feel like he owns this role. Like, he knows Dexter like the back of his hand. This supporting cast was phenomenal. And the big bad this season, he was less the focused, but it was still an interesting little twist and foil to the main arcing story. But yeah, as far as good, I believe that's it. Now let's get to the bad. And the bad, it's not even all of episode 10, because the beginning of episode 10, it felt more of the same of what we were getting, and felt like it was building into something phenomenal. And sadly, that was not the case, because at the end of the day, they decided to make some boneheaded choices that really honestly make no sense. I somewhat kind of get where they were going with it, but there was better ways to handle it, in my opinion. And also, it felt extremely rushed. There was this phenomenal build-up that they were doing, and I felt like it was all thrown away. It was handled. They gave closure to something that took about 8-9 episodes to build up in like 5 minutes, 5 seconds, and it didn't really felt earned. It felt like a throwaway at the end of the day. And another negative, as much as I loved Harrison, he's a teenage boy, and some of his decision making, they made him seem like he was still an infant. Like I wasn't buying how they wrote the character, and yeah. In that last 10 minutes, oh my lord, there's so many different routes you could have went with it. So many, to the point now I'm wondering, was this season, this whole show, a necessity? I was honestly better off just letting the sleeping giant sleep. Like, this did not warrant, how the show ended did not warrant it coming back, to be honest. Because you did more harm than good, because this felt like a smack in the face of this phenomenal character. Man. And another negative, as much as I love this being a character study, I absolutely loved it. It was missing a kill or two. It felt very tamed. I don't know if it's because of the climate we're in right now. They wanted to tell a different story, but Dexter Morgan is Dexter Morgan. Yes, he had maybe 1 or 2 kills, but it didn't have that feeling that we're used to from getting from him. His kills, like, they didn't mean anything. They were pointless. Especially the first one. I could have done without it, but at this point, I'm just ranting because I'm extremely disappointed. To me, Dexter, how it was built up, could have easily been one of the greatest TV shows of all time, but of course not. And yeah, overall, yeah, that's my overall thoughts. They should have just left it alone. It did not warrant coming back if that's how you decided to end it. At this point, never ever touch the Dexter Morgan character again. Let it be. You did what you did twice. And to be honest, I don't know which one was worse, because the end result of this this series is 20 times worse than the end result of how it originally ended, in my opinion. Smack to the face. Smack to the face. And I'm surprised they got a green light, like, to make it the way they made it, to be honest. Anyways, I'm done. I can't talk about this anymore because this really breaks my heart. They were leading to something so... Every week, I was tuned in every single week. Even though I had issues with the pacing at times, I was still hooked into the main gist of this whole show, and to be thrown away like that, that's disappointing. Anyways, that was my short review, and I guess you could say semi-rant of Dexter New Blood. Talk about wasted potential. Anyways, I'm out. Peace.